Hello, welcome to the newspaper review here on Top TV. My name is William Sabule and you are very much welcome. Well, if this is the first time you're seeing this video, do well to subscribe to this channel because we bring you headlines across newspapers around Nigeria right here on the newspaper review show here on Top TV. With me on the program today is Victor Sioku. You're welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, and we're going to go into the headlines shortly, but before we do that, make sure you are connected to this channel. Subscribe. Yeah, click on the subscribe button. Turn on the notification because that's how you get notified whenever we come up with a new episode of this program. All right, let's take on the headlines for today, the 10th of March, 2023. We'll begin with the Daily Sun newspaper. And on the Daily Sun here, we see cash crunch worsens as banks run out of old, new Naira notes. Rejection of old Naira notes, disobedience to law. Akeredolu speaking. Page 2 of the Daily Sun is where you will find details of that story. Moving on to the front headliner here, it says, Black Day in Lagos, Oyo, Enugu, Borno. Over 30 die in train auto accidents. Terrorists kill 26 in Borno. 1,332 terrorists. Families surrender. Page 4 and 5 is where you get details of that story. And also we see here on the Daily Sun, anxiety has caught Oke's temporary voters card used for Guber election. Ruling against Electoral Act. Ruling against Electoral Act. INEC speaking. Page 6 is where you see details of that story. Lagos attacks. Ohaneze asks Buhari in the international community to save voters. We also see appeal court reserves judgment in PDP suit against Tinubu Shetima. Well, that's all the headlines we'll be taking on the Daily Sun newspaper. Victor, I'm going to come to you. It was a very, very sad day yesterday for our nation, especially because of the accident that happened in Lagos, somewhere along PWD, along the Oshodi Expressway. It was really sad. I know that very point. There's a rail track crossing, not crossing the main road, but a street linking you to the major road, so the main road. And whenever you get close to that place, if a train is coming, there's always a barricade, but I don't know what has become of that barricade. Maybe it has stopped working or something. But somehow, stories coming out of that, accident says the driver refused to heed to the warnings and he probably thought he would make it across on time. But unfortunately, we had people dying from that accident. Very sad, very, very sad. But I would like you to react to that story.
Okay, so when I saw the news, as usual, when we saw news like that, the first thing that comes up to our mind is failed traffic rules or traffic. In this country, it's unfortunate, but most of our not just even drivers, we are just too careless on the road. Okay, so just like what we are hearing now, that the driver might just be the culprit here, that he's been sent for some kind
psychiatric
of
evaluation.
Reviews. Yes.
But that doesn't actually bring the lives that have already been lost.
It does not.
And this psychological review or mental review or whatever thing they're doing to the driver now should have been done before now, because you cannot tell me that you've been working with people for a while and you don't observe that some people are very much reckless and don't obey safety rules. Safety first. But some drivers and some people working in organizations don't obey these rules because maybe they feel they are smarter or they have their way of working around these things. It just takes one tiny mistake before you put other lives in danger, including yours. So these are some things that they should be looking out for. In Nigeria, our safety culture is very poor, except for all these multi-national companies that actually take safety as a very strong regulation in their organizations. But you go to a normal, Nigerian organization or facility or institution, most people don't take safety tops in their priority, and it leads to things like this. Very unfortunate.
So yeah, going further, you would also notice when these passengers, the injured ones and the dead ones, when they were taken to the closest hospital. As at that yesterday, as at that moment, it was a was it Lasuth hospital?
Yeah.
Okay, the teaching hospital.
Yeah.
Okay, so but I saw some things from the video. You find out that they could not even get their way inside because everywhere was filled up. Okay, so you will see people, even dead bodies on the ground.
Yeah.
You will see injured ones on the ground. You are just littering people on the ground. As in, I mean, the hospital complex outside.
Yeah.
So you just now wonder, okay, Lagos is, they say, is the fourth growing economy in Africa. Okay, but you now ask the question, what is happening with their healthcare?
And let's also be clear that this is not the first time where we've seen this sort of emergency crop up in Lagos, and then they are running from one point to the other, not knowing and seeking for help from one point or the other. And then one would begin to ask, what is the main focus of the Lagos state government when these things, we see a reoccurrence of these things happening, when situations like this occur? They lack facilities. During COVID-19, it was like this. They had to build new facilities to accommodate people. During Ebola, it was almost like this.
Thing.
Yeah, because remember back then during Ebola attack, pandemic, they didn't have a hospital that can accommodate these people. They had to go and clean a rickety hospital up and then keep people there for the meantime. So what is the Lagos state government focusing on? Because that is one of the, like you said, one of the fastest growing economy in Africa. Aside that, the most populated state in Nigeria. It's a small, they have a small landmass, but highly populated. If you've been to Lagos before, you understand what we're saying. So what is their priority? Health, which I believe should be tops in any government's program, because life first. I don't know what they are looking at. During this campaign period, that's one thing Lagosians should be asking their aspirants. Because I haven't seen most of them talk about it, though. Yes. I don't know if you've heard.
Yes.
I've heard infrastructure, I've heard we're going to change the Lagos of our dreams and all of those things. But I haven't heard any candidate hammering on health. And I think this is a call, this incident that happened should be a call or an eye-opener to them. They should do something about the health sector in Lagos. They are not really dealing with emergencies properly the way they should have been doing.
Yes, and not like this accident happened at the outskirts.
Yeah.
This is happening at the center of Lagos, where you're expecting that they should have proper hospitals around that can cater for those numbers. At the end of the day, not that the numbers were just off the roof. Okay, but we should also, while talking about Lagos, we should also remember that some persons were killed in Benue State.
Yeah.
Some persons were also killed in Bornu. In fact, it was a fishing settlement also that 25 fishermen or 26 fishermen were killed. We're not even hearing about
and
that.
This is Boko Haram attacking again.
Boko Haram. And it's like in Nigeria now, we are tired of the Boko Haram gist. We are looking for new gist. Killing people, bandits killing people is no longer a big deal. Yeah. But yeah, a train crashing and killing about 6 to 7 persons as of now is more like a bigger news than 25 people went out to get their daily bread and they were gunned down. 25. Okay, so it's unfortunate. I wanted to also use this opportunity to talk about the Lagos lifestyle. I've been to Lagos severally. I am not demarketing Lagos, okay, but the lifestyle there is offensive. I see Lagos as that's where you have will I say, many people out there in Lagos are not law-abiding. I'm sorry to say that. When you go to some cities, you be like, wow, so these Nigerians can behave good here. But I'm sorry, I'm not here to offend Lagosians, okay? But please, some things need to be done about that, okay? Okay, what also happened? I bet you when that incident happened, when the accident happened, there will be no how. Not I'm preaching fallacy or evil, but there will be no how Agberos will not do their thing. Okay, Lagos is the largest economy as a city in Africa. Is the largest economy. But are we also talking about the decayed infrastructure? Are we also talking about the touting that occurs in Lagos? Look at what happened in the last election. If it's not Lagos and the touting, in fact, there will be no news. So I just don't know if Sanwo-Olu is staying the next 4 years. He should look into this matter. Lagos should be clean. Clean is not just about nice roads and all that. Okay, yes, they are highly important, but please, in the mentality of the people, I don't know the kind of enlightenment that he needs to give them out there, and also the bus drivers, the keke mara riders. You find out that many of them, they charge. They call it charge. They try to charge before they go into or apply the road, and that might just be what happened. And see, it is only in Lagos that I drove. When I'm driving in Lagos, they will just be shouting at me.
Why are you so slow?
Remove this car from the road.
Yeah.
Where are we going to?
Why are you so slow? And it's not only in driving. When you're walking around the streets in Lagos, you tend to be on a very high pace because you cannot slow down. Everybody around you seems to be on the.
Sorry, sir. What about dropping off from bus?
Oh man,
if you don't drop around like this. And the thing is normal.
Oh my God, yes, it is normal. I can remember when I first relocated from Lagos to Port Harcourt, I thought Port Harcourt people were sick. You know, I was always thinking that everybody in Port Harcourt was sick because they were too slow for my liking. I look at them like, why is that guy walking so slow? I mean, I was almost like that from Lagos, that when I'm always walking fast, driving, everything about me was on the fast lane because, yeah, that's what Lagos pre-exposes you to. You kind of like get into that very fast lane. And yeah, that's one part. But I also know that Lagos state government is doing one or two things to try to manage Lagos people. Because of the population, explosion in Lagos, it is expected that the city would be like that. So it needs proper management from government to be able to control or put a check on all of this. I know that there is LASMA to help manage traffic. Yeah, they've been doing a great job to an extent. I don't see Lagos people driving against traffic. I haven't seen that happen in a long time. It's not as if it doesn't happen. It happens, but maybe in a very, one-off in a very long time. But in Port Harcourt, I see that every day. And there's no traffic management to deal with that here in Port Harcourt. But in Lagos, you cannot dare it. Because if you're caught, you pay fines as much as 500k to redeem your vehicle when it is impounded. And there are a lot of other laws as regards the environmental cleanliness and all of that. I know there's LAWMA and one or two other things that I believe the Lagos State. But then I believe that Lagos is a fast developing city, and let's see what the next 4 years will do for any other government that comes in, whether it is Sanwo-Olu or GRV or the PDP candidate Jandor. We're hoping to get something good out of Lagos because Lagos is the hub for everyone in Nigeria. It's like it's a family house for everybody.
And maybe no man's land, but some person might not want you to call it a no man's land.
Yes, but then one thing we don't like is to hear bad news like the one we heard yesterday from Lagos. People losing their lives because of carelessness. And those drivers driving these government vehicles, I know that it's not like they're underpaid or whatever, but then for me, this is a huge call for safety. We need to check these drivers. Companies, organizations, government, even you that have a driver that drives you around, please, from time to time, it's not enough to be yelling at the driver, do this, do that. You don't know whether his wife have slapped him that morning and he's angry at you. So he comes in and sits down there in front of your car, but he's not there. It's just the body that is driving you around. And there's one thing about driving. When you drive for many years, it becomes a subconscious act. I've driven to somewhere where I cannot remember how I got there. I drove for almost 30 minutes. I couldn't remember the routes I took to get to that point. That's to tell you that my mind was not in the driving, but my body drove me there. So those kind of things, if something happens, my reaction level will be really slow. So,
definitely.
Yeah, so those are the things that we need to do. Check with your driver. It's not enough to sit back there and then you're taking a long trip. You're not talking to your driver. You're not asking your driver, what's up? Are you okay? Where have we reached? You need to interact. If not, the guy can slip off in 1 second. 1 second is enough to kill somebody. So please, let's all be safe out there, all right? Okay, so we go back to our headlines, and next it be Daily Independent newspaper, where we see here as headline, death toll in Lagos train bus crash rises to 8. Sanwo-Olu orders flags flown at half-mast, declares 3-day mourning in Lagos. All right, we also see here Ohaneze condemns attacks on South on Southeasterners in Lagos. PDP describes burning of Lagos Auto Parts Market as barbaric. To the main headline here, we see court okays use of temporary voter card for March 18 polls. Troops arrest terrorists, commander, wife, children, 167 others. Kill over 27 terrorists in 2 weeks. 6 Benue Council areas under simultaneous attacks. Algon. We also see here, hold Yakubu, not Buhari, liable of crisis. If crisis erupts over polls, CNPP speaking there. All right, Victor, let's come back to our headlines here, and I'd like us to look at the story of INEC okaying the use of temporary voter card for the March 11 polls. How do you see that kind of judgment by the court?
Okay, I see it as it's a two-way thing. Maybe the person that put out that case might be for the interest of Nigerians that have been disenfranchised,
Because of their inability to pick up their permanent
or
voters
because
card.
of their permanent voters card was in the bush. That could still be it. Okay, but I think it's not a bad idea there. Reason, the voters card, be it permanent, be it temporary, is in the national database.
Yeah.
And how do people get verified or accredited? You get to the polling unit, you thumbprint, it marks, oh, good. Facial recognition, it marks good. They look at your card, that's your PVC. They look you, do physical examination, and it is you. Then you can go ahead and vote. So if somebody can come and thumbprint, gives a good, facial, gives a good, then in terms of checking your cards, it now becomes that your card is paper and not PVC, not plastic. I think it is not just that much, okay, to disfranchise some persons, knowing that INEC on their own part do not do well with their logistics. Yes, some Nigerians on their own part too, they not even push to go out to get their PVC. So, but yes, it might look so confusing, but I also want INEC to check critically, in as much as yes, they want to go and appeal the case, but they should also check critically. Why am I saying they should go check properly? Because if it will create avenue for riggers to come in and rig, I beg, trash it.
Oh well, I'm thinking, even though that is not, it's not a bad call for them to use the TVC for the elections. I don't think it should be done now, before the 18th, or on I don't think it should be used in the election, March 18th election. Let's look at another time while they review the possibilities involved in using this. But even though the court has ruled so, I hear INEC is not having it. They've also, gone to court to stop or get an injunction to stop that from happening in the March 18th election, which I think is a smart move. Let us take these things one step at a time. We are hoping that in the next election, we're also going to have diaspora votings. And then, of course, other people that were, disenfranchised or were unable to get involved in the electoral process to come in. INEC should be able to bring them in while we also grow in this technology thing that has been introduced to our electoral process that should have created more trust, more, clarity or fairness in the system, but has brought us to this point where a lot of Nigerians are complaining here and there. So there's room for improvement. And so in that improvement, they can include this, where people that are unable to pick up their PVCs can actually vote with their temporary voters card. That will increase the number of voters that we'll be having in the next 4 years. But now, I think they should put that on hold. Just like you said, we don't know the consequences or the most likely implications that will come as a result of doing so without proper check, because the time frame is really short to review that aspect of voting. So, well, let's leave it up till the next voting. All right, that's all the headline we'll be taking on our daily independent newspaper. Next, we'll take our last paper, which will be This Day newspaper. So you stay tuned. Let's go on a short break. Once we come back, we'll take on that paper.
Hey there. Are you looking to record your videos, do your voiceovers, and take your professional pictures? Look no further. With our state-of-the-art newsroom, photography, kitchen for our food content creators and exclusive children's studio, we certainly can deliver the best studio experience. Our carefully designed studio space can bring your diverse creative content ideas to life. We aim to consistently serve value to our customers far and wide. Come, let Tharv Media give life to your dreams. Tharv Media, a slice of infotainment.
Thank you very much for staying with us up to this time here on the Newspaper Review. We are still looking at the headlines across newspapers around Nigeria. Next paper will be This Day newspaper for today, the 10th of March, 2023. And the headlines on This Day here reads, Court orders INEC to allow use of temporary voters card in March 18 polls. Commission vows to appeal order. IREV glitches have nothing to do with redevelopment of XI. Okay, I'll take that again. IREV glitches have nothing to do with redeployment of ex-ICT director. Electoral body clarifies. IPAC backs polls postponement. Urges commission to avoid repeat of BVAS failure. We also see here as headline, Tinubu obeys U.S. agent impersonating Nadeco leadership to discredit my free mandate. Says using his platform of struggle against him is fraudulent, insulting, laughable. Declares he staked all for Nigeria when LP presidential candidate was either hobnobbing with military or nowhere to be found. All right, to get the full story, please go to page 5 of This Day newspaper to get the full story there. And also we see here, despite global outcry, Buhari defends Tinubu's victory, says he had no plan to annul 2023 presidential election. We also see here, Amaechi rallies vote for coal, visits traders, Elikaya Market Village. All right, let's begin with that story of Amaechi rallying vote for coal. Remember last time while we were here, we talked about Amaechi being very mum for a while as regards the Rivers State governorship election campaigns for the APC. Since after the primaries, we have hardly seen him in public side doing anything politics. But recently, he has, popped up in the scene. We saw him at Ikoku Market, and we also saw him having a meeting with the Igbos in Rivers State as, part of the campaigns they are carrying on leading up to the elections on the 18th of March, 2023. What do you say could have changed? Because when we see him in those videos, he seemed very much agile. He seemed very resolute to ensure that his party kingsman, that is Tonye Cole, wins at the polls.
Relevance. He wants to show that he's working. Okay. No more staying at the back and maybe dozing off, because what is happening is now glaring that if he leaves that position, it might just be uhuru for him, and that might also welcome somebody like the governor, as in the current governor, Governor Wike,
to take over as the leader.
Yeah, come over to the APC, knowing that he has that relationship with Ahmed Bola Tinubu. So he might just collapse his PDP structure and then move to APC. Already, we can see that he's not having his way with the PDP from what is going on. Persons out there, I also predicted that he was going to be booted out of the PDP. But from what is happening from the PDP, we find out that they are more calculating. They just want to win their seats, because the seats and the position will be won for PDP, not for Wike. So I'm feeling that by the time they get maybe more seats, just like they got from the House of Representatives and the Senate, they might just say, okay guys, you need to play by the rules. Wike off. They might sack Wike out of PDP. So what then happens to Wike? Will he now move to the APC, which might just be what will happen?
Yeah.
So Amaechi is now coming in front to say, see, this is my domain.
Yeah.
This is my territory.
Oh yeah.
You don't have to come in here. Stay at your place. So a whole lot of oh my God, Lord have mercy on Rivers State.
It will be such a drama. Because we see this happening, looking at the moves of Governor Wike. And these days he has come out to make it plain to us that he fought he actually was involved in ensuring that the APC won in Rivers State. It's no longer a hidden agenda. He's now saying it with his mouth in most of the public spaces that he found himself recently. So it wouldn't be such a surprise for us to hear him come out to say one day that he has moved to the APC, because already he's already, having romance with the APC, and for him to fight for them to win with such huge margin, whatever means they used in achieving that is no longer relevant. But then he did something to ensure that they win with such huge margin. That means he's not stupid. He has plans. And then again, we also hear Tonye Okocha coming out every day to say that Amaechi is no longer a member of the party. I wonder why he has such effrontery to be saying that about a man that has not decamped officially or declared to anybody, or we haven't seen him do any anti-party activity.
No evidence to show.
Evidence. Tony Okocha said he has evidence to prove that Amaechi voted for Atiku.
Bring it out
with the
now.
evidence. Everybody that is saying I have evidence, I've been putting it out there. Put it out in public. Let people see that yes, he's a disloyal party man of the APC. But coming out to say it, just like as Wike has been saying in one of his broadcasts, the one I saw recently, making mockery about Amaechi. All of these things are just allegations until they are proven. And Amaechi is not even saying anything to them. So it makes the whole thing looks funny. So they are just doing all of this to distract a lot of the followers of the APC and all of that. But the elections are here. I pray that people will, read between the lines and vote their conscience as we, head out to cast our votes on the 18th of March 2023. It's going to be a tough call. All right, Victor, if you don't have anything to add more, I guess we should draw the curtain here.
Yes, and happy weekend to everyone out there. Yes. It was supposed to be an election weekend, we are set for the situation room, but
yes,
come on.
Yes, please, the situation room will still come up, but that will be next week when the elections will begin on the 18th. So do well to look out for the situation room here on Tab TV. It's an interactive program where you get to call in either on video call or WhatsApp or voice call, where we get to talk about what's happening at your polling unit, what's happening in your state, what's happening in your local government. Please call us on that day and let's know how the election is going on with you or around you. Until that weekend, please do well to stay safe out there and make sure you get yourself ready for the elections coming up on the 18th, because it's important that you come out to vote. Until that time, next time, see you and stay safe. My name is William Sabule, and this has been the Newspaper Review on Tab TV.